So last year, my dad decided he was tired of not knowing what goes on around here, which in our suburban neighborhood mostly means missing out on which neighbor's dog pooped on our lawn this time. One Saturday, he comes home grinning like he's just joined the CIA, arms loaded with enough security cameras to outfit Fort Knox. At first, my mom and I thought he was just going to install one or two above the doors. You know, normal stuff. But by the end of the day, we had cameras on the mailbox, the bird feeder, inside the mailbox, and, no joke, one pointed directly at our garden gnome. For weeks, anytime we walked past the living room, Dad would be hunched over his computer, watching grainy footage like a less cool Bond villain. Things started to get weird when packages began arriving addressed to Home Security Chief. Dad started wearing a whistle around his neck and referring to the house as the compound. My friends stopped coming over because they were convinced the house was watching them, and honestly, I couldn't blame them. Every day, Dad would give us a debriefing over dinner. At 13:47, a squirrel approached the perimeter. At 14:02, the mailman lingered a little too long. We thought he was joking until he printed out a spreadsheet analyzing the mailman's loitering patterns. Then came the day Dad called an emergency family meeting. He pulled up the footage from camera 27, Porch, angle C, and there, in glorious 720p, was our mailman, let's call him Greg, delivering a package, then suddenly breaking into what can only be described as a passionate interpretive dance. Greg twirled, lapped, and at one point appeared to have an emotional conversation with the potted hydrangea. Dad was stunned, Mom was delighted, and I was mostly impressed he didn't knock over the Amazon box. Dad spent hours analyzing Greg's routine, convinced it was some kind of elaborate code. Eventually, Mom suggested maybe Greg just really loves his job, or hates package theft. Either way, Dad finally decided to scale back the cameras, but not before making a final announcement: from now on, the only thing we're surveilling is the mailman's next recital. Because if you can't beat Porch Pirates, you might as well join the Porch Ballet.